I have a question for you about your performance. Are you currently achieving as much as you could based on your potential? Are you achieving the highest amounts of performance you can in your daily life, in your life with your relationships, in your career, in all the things that you're doing? Are you achieving the highest levels of potential and performance you really could? Now, I've been blessed to ask this question around the world, and something phenomenal and somewhat amazing happens. Every time you say to somebody, hey, are you really achieving your potential right now? They typically say, well, no. And then you say, well, how much of your potential are you achieving? And they say, well, I don't know. And I'll say, okay, well, let's think on a scale here, on a scale of 0 to 100%. What percentage of your potential are you achieving right now that you're living on a daily basis? Are you really activating in your life? And they'll usually say, literally, they'll say, well, maybe, I don't know, 50%, 30%, maybe 20%. A lot of people say, I don't know, I feel like I'm only achieving maybe 10% of my actual ability, of my actual level of potential that I've been gifted by God, that I've been given by the universe, that I've been born with, whatever your metaphor is. How much of your potential are you really achieving? And this has been a question that I've been driven by my entire life. As many of you know, I've been in a dramatic car accident when I was a 19-year-old kid, and I learned that along the way that there's these blessings that we have in life, that we get to choose how we're going to live, what level of energy, what level of excitement, what level of vibrancy. And when I realized that, I thought, well, okay, what's it really take to get to my highest level of performance? How can I live fully and really engage? And what does it take to become one of the highest performers in my industry? What does it take to become one of the highest performers in life? And really, it's come down to all of my study, from studying sports psychology to studying personal growth and spirituality, everything I've ever studied. I've realized I've really narrowed down to this concept of high performance. How do you get the highest level of performance out of yourself on a daily basis so that you can achieve what you want to achieve in life and so you can be who you want to be in your life? What does it really take? And after studying high performers now for a decade, I've suddenly realized that there's certainly a quality about them that's consistent. One, all high performers that I've ever met my entire life, they're driven completely by passion. If you want to go from, let's say you're at 50%, your level of potential right now, and you want to get to 100%, you've got to really think about what's it going to take. Unfortunately, most people say, well, what it's going to take is, if I'm only at 50% and I want to get to 100%, what they think it's going to take to, become a high performer is they think they have to double the amount of work they're doing. And that's not true. It's not about how much work you're doing. Often it's about what work you're doing and how you're doing the work. And the first element that really fits in there is passion, right? If you look at high performers, they're always the most passionate people in any industry. And it's not charismatic. It's not like they're a big clown talking to you like I'm talking to you now. This happens to be how I display passion, excitement and energy and enthusiasm. Yours might be more quiet and subtle. Regardless, we've always seen that high performers are driven by passion. They always talk about it. What excites you? They're always talking about what excites them, what makes them enthusiastic, what engages them in life. Another thing high performers are always driven by is excellence, right? A high performer is someone who says, I want to be the best at what I'm doing. And if not the best in the culture, they're going to say, I want to be the best that I can be, right? So they're driven by an internal standard of excellence that says, I have to do this the best that I can do this. And they're actually sort of self-conscious about it. And they're a little bit guilty if they don't do a great job. And they're probably a little bit of OCD in the level of excellence they want to achieve. There is an element of perfectionism that drives a lot of high performers. They want to get it right. Of course, they do it at a high level in which they're doing it intelligently because they're not stressing themselves out all the time, so that they can maintain a standard of energy that propels them forward without getting bogged down in stress. But those are the first kind of two things that really drive, I've seen, the psychology of high performers. It's that passion and that drive for excellence. And then the third thing would be service. Right? They want to do something meaningful. They want to make a difference or change somebody's life. They want to add to the community. And if you think about that, high performers are really driven by passion, excellence, and service. But there's got to be more, right? Because you're probably passionate, but you're not achieving the level of potential you know you could. You're probably someone who really likes to get things right, but you're not there yet. And you're probably somebody who wants to make a difference, but you don't feel, again, like you're achieving your highest levels of potential. So how do we get you from here to there? How do we change the level of potential that you're activating in your life right now? Well, I've learned that there's really 4 elements of high performance. So when I think about high performance, I really think of 4 key areas that drive high performance. Again, the psychology that we talked about, we know that people who are high performers, they're passionate, they're driven by excellence and service. But these 4 elements, if you can learn these and activate in your life, it'll change you forever. The first element in all of high performance, right? Your psychology drives all of your success. How you think about the world, how you think about yourself, how you think about other people, how you think about success in general. This is where your values, your beliefs, your intentions all live here in your psychology, right? If you don't have your mind right, and the beliefs and the thoughts that are running through your mind and through your life every single day aren't supporting your success and aren't lifting you to higher levels of performance, you'll never achieve high performance. So it begins here with mastering your mind. If you can't master your mind, if your thoughts aren't purposeful, if your actions aren't intention driven by your mind, if you're not really clear on what you want, and you're not really clear on how to control your mind and control your thoughts so that they support you, then you're just going throughout life sort of on automated responses of your unconscious. And most of us have been programmed so that our unconscious aren't supporting us. You know, our unconscious is telling us, well, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, nobody loves you, you'll never figure this out. So you've got to learn to reprogram your mind so that it's a constant stream of supportive messages that are really taking you to the next level, that are engaging you throughout the day, that make you feel good. You know, I go throughout every single day of my life and I feel good. You know, I'm excited about it. I'm engaged. When I walk into a new room, I'm like, hey, what's this going to be like? And I'm excited about things. And most people, when they walk into a new room of lots of people and they get all nervous and they freak out or they go internal or they try and project something and they're not relaxed. They don't know how to be themselves. And a lot of that comes from the psychology. I mean, do you feel like you are truly being yourself in your life right now? Do you feel like your thoughts and the values and beliefs that you've programmed into your life and into your mind are supporting you on a consistent basis to be the best of who you are? If not, it's just because you haven't mastered your psychology yet. And if you don't master your psychology, you'll never have high performance. The second thing that you notice about all high performers is they've mastered this other element of their life called their physiology, right? This is their body, right? If you master your mind, the next thing is you got to master your body in a way that it does the same thing that your psychology does. It supports your ability to achieve high levels of performance. And this isn't type A nonsense, by the way. High performance is ultimately about you feeling your best and doing your best on a daily basis in an easy way. It just happens. I mean, when I get on stage when I'm teaching my seminars or I'm sitting down with CEOs or the best, you know, some of the biggest celebrities in the world, there's something that I'm able to do in those moments and be so present with them because I've trained my physiology to support me. Meaning, I've conditioned my body in a way that maybe I'm not the healthiest guy, I'm certainly not the biggest guy in the gym, but I've conditioned myself in a way that my energy naturally sustains me throughout the day. You know, if you don't have the physical body that supports you throughout the day, if you are overweight or you're obese or you're fat or you just haven't conditioned your body to have high levels of energy no matter what you look like. This is not about being skinny and cute. That's not what physiology is about. When we talk about high performance, physiology is about having a natural rhythm and energy to your body that supports you no matter what you're doing. So that you are, in every meeting, you're the person who has the most energy there. I'll tell you what, the person with the most energy wins. The person who is playing sports has the most energy is going to win. The person who has the most energy in the boardroom is going to win because they're going to be present enough to catch the things that are going by, to respond to them well. So is your physiology supporting you? Are you taking care of your physical body in terms of what you eat, in terms of how you exercise, in terms of how you sleep, in terms of what you drink? And most people are poisoning their body to such a degree that they're tired every day. They got to drag themselves out of bed and then drag themselves immediately to Starbucks or they can't get through the damn day. We've got to change that for you. We've got to change the level of physiology and energy you have. Because if we can amp this up, then I'll tell you what, things start happening in your life and you have more energy to do the things that you need to do. So psychology, physiology are the foundational elements of high performance. Productivity. If you can't master how productive you are throughout the day and how productive you are in general, then I'll tell you what, you're going to be faced with major obstacles to ever achieving your dreams. You know, maybe you want to become a millionaire. You know, when I began, I remember I thought, I don't want to become a millionaire, I want to become a multi-millionaire. And I was able to do it in 24 months. How did I possibly do that? Well, most people think it's because I have all these amazing strategies for wealth, and I do have some of those. And I'm proud of some of the things we've accomplished, and I'm proud of the brands that I've been able to build in a short amount of time. I've been able to build out of nowhere, a multi-million-dollar set of companies that really support the lifestyle that I want and make a huge impact in the culture. I'm proud of that. But people say, how did you do it? I've been able to do it because I'm incredibly productive. Well, how do you get productive? Right? How do you actually accomplish something? This is not about day planners. This is not about, setting your calendar up more intelligently. Productivity is a mindset in itself. How productive are you throughout the day? When you woke up this morning, all the things you wanted to accomplish, did you accomplish them? When you think about this last New Year's, when you set some new resolutions, how many of those have you made happen so far? When you think about all the dreams that you've had throughout your lifetime that you wanted to accomplish and get to, how many of those did you get to? Now maybe the more important question. If you haven't got to them, why not? Well, I can tell you it probably has a lot to do with your psychology. It certainly has to do with your energy. And I'm pretty sure it has to do with how you go about getting things done. How do you prioritize? How do you choose which tasks to do? How do you know where to begin and end each day? How do you know how to avoid the distractions that keep sucking you in and preventing you from succeeding in life? Because I'm sure there's a lot of things that are distracting you right now. And there's something about productivity and the ability to be laser focused to accomplish something. But how do you push everything else away and focus so intently on something in a systematic way to achieve it that you know you will get where you want to go? That's what high performers have learned. That's what they have mastered in their life. So let's talk about this last missing element. This last element to high performance is something most people forget about, and it's that social element of high performance. We have to have the ability to influence other people to achieve what we want. If you can't persuade other people, if you can't motivate them and influence them to come along with you on a journey, to do what you need them to do, to help them become more of who they are, if you can't persuade people, if you don't have the ability to influence people, then you're not going to have the ability to influence the levels of achievement in your life. If you can't persuade other people to help you along your journey will be very long. So we've got to get to a point in your life where you have such high degrees of performance because you're able to influence other people. So we have to decide, well, who do you have to influence in your life to get ahead? And how do you go about influencing them? And this has to do with your family, this has to do with your business, this has to do with every element of your life. So those are the elements of high performance: psychology, physiology, productivity, and persuasion. You could improve the thoughts that are going in your mind and in your life just by, let's say, 10%. And you can improve the level of energy you have in your physiology because you condition your body in a way so that you know how to move your body and activate high degrees of energy just by 10%. And you got 10% more done on a daily basis. And you were able to influence people more, let's say 10% more. You had 10% more influence at work or in your career or with your customers. Would your life change? And I would say it would. And that's the passion and the excitement and the drive behind high performances. You want to achieve more, and you can only do it if you master all these four elements. But there is a missing element that most people don't learn to talk about. There's this little piece down here that most people in their lives are missing. Because if this element isn't alive in your life, then you're missing something dramatic. And what most people is, a lot of people might have this and they might have this, and this makes them a type A person. They might even have this and this, and they're just driven and they're amazing. But there's missing a artistic element, a passion and excitement and engagement in their life. If you have all of this, but you've never figured out some of the common elements of your purpose, of your life's purpose, this isn't about you having to figure out what you're going to do for the rest of your life. That's not what purpose is about. Purpose is a deeper drive than that. There's a deeper meaning to that. And most people, when they talk about purpose, they have no idea how to help other people get there. One of the things I've achieved in my life that I'm most proudest of is the ability to help influence hundreds of thousands of people to find what is their life's purpose. I'm always helping people try to figure that out, help them re-engage in it. I don't have the answer for you. I'm not going to tell you what your life's purpose is. That would be ridiculous. But I have a few hints that I've gained along the way from spiritual teachers, from a lifetime of study, and from my own engagement in my own life where I turn my life around. And so I want to be able to help you with that. Because most people have never activated any of these areas on purpose. I'm going to teach you to activate them on purpose. I'm going to give you the plan to do that, and we're going to get you back to levels of high performance. Thanks for watching the videos. Look forward to serving you in the future. Thanks for coming here. Until I see you next time, live fully, love openly, and go out and make a difference today.